how I tricked the internet. Let's get right underway. What happened? What did I do? Did I have inside knowledge? Did I have help? Well, let's get right underway. On the 5th of June, I created a thread to do with our little friend Des Buckingham over in India, because I was fed up with how lazy the journalism is in Scotland. And, you know, they were saying Maresca, you know, someone who's on the old list of candidates before we got Ange, City related, but he failed at Serie B. He should not be Celtic manager. I was fed up of stuff similar to that, so I created a thread at almost midnight on the 5th of June about a man called Des Buckingham. I originally looked up an image. I had like 10 City related clubs. I looked at their Uruguayan team at first. Sadly, they're the caretaker. I eventually, you know, got to Marinos and I was like, nah, he's an ex-Rangers player, so that's a no. I looked at Troyes and I was like, he just got relegated, so no. And then I got to Des Buckingham and I was like, oh, he plays interesting football, City related, still quite young, interesting. I'll write a little thread about him in the Indian League. You know, he's currently managing in the Indian Super League with Mumbai City, of course, you know, City related group. He was the first manager to win with an Indian side in the AFC Champions League. He won 2 matches, in fact, in his first season. In his second season, over the course of the 20-game season, he finished top of the league. He also went 18 games unbeaten. You know, he looks like a promising manager, but he's still a bit of a risk at the end of the day, because, you know, it's the Indian League. You know, I never really got much of it. It was a bit more of a laugh, you know. I was chatting to a few people on Twitter at the time, and, you know, we're just kind of like, you know, it's so much going on, Ange leaving, being sad and that. And then I come up with this and it's like, interesting, what does he play? And we're like, oh, he plays a 3 back then, 4 back then. Interesting, you know, very much a Man City up and coming manager from the group. And then a few days later, you know, we get to the 7th of June, and in the morning I receive a tweet directed at me, and it says, just boarded a flight with who I think is City Football Group Mumbai City head coach Des Buckingham at Kevin Twist 67. And I put it into the thread and I was like, it is extremely unlikely that it's Des Buckingham unless we see a face, as it could just be any guy who looks pretty similar. The guy then one-upped it by tweeting me again, directing a tweet towards me that showed the man side on outside Glasgow Airport, showing that it is Des Buckingham in Glasgow. And this is where it started picking up, you know, people started getting onto it, be like, did I have inside knowledge, did I have this? We had a lot of people tweeting about it, being like, who is this? And he was slowly just gaining momentum online. People went from not knowing who this man is, no one really ever tweeted about him or said anything in the UK about him really, to people wondering, is he Celtic quality within just one day. And the bookies went from unbettable, where you had to request a bet, to 65 to 1, to all the way down to 2 to 1. It was, he's still second favourite at the time of recording. He has dropped off a little bit, however, he is still up there, which shows how crazy this is, that it went from more of a mocking sort of thing directed at the Scottish media to, have I got something right? Have I got sources? Am I to do with his agency? And then we got news coming out like he is under the same agency as Ange. There's all these different things going on, where people were thinking, did some YouTuber just trick the whole of like Scottish football Twitter? Has this just happened? Has he tricked the media? Has he tricked the bookies into making these odds? What's he done? And does he get any money out of it? Whatever. And I can promise you, I didn't trick you. I just went and made a thread aimed at mocking and having a bit of a dig at the Scottish media for being so lazy and suggesting people who just won't get the Celtic manager jobs to. I had a little bit of a deep dive. I eventually got to him. I seen that he was a promising manager and went, that is a possible candidate. He is a left field shout, which is what I put in the thread. And Des Buckingham is that. You know, he's not someone who you'd expect to be Celtic manager, but if he did get the job, it'd be a bit of a surprise, but you would be like, City Group, promising manager. It makes sense at the end of the day. You wouldn't really after a while you wouldn't really question it. He has been in Glasgow. The Sun tried to discredit me, you know, dismiss of him being anywhere near Celtic. They were saying, you know, he just travelled from India to Glasgow magically as soon as Ange Postecoglou leaves with the same agency just to go see some friends. He's not going to see some friends. He's English. Why would he go to Glasgow to see some mates? He'd go down to London or something if he wanted to see his mates. I believe he got interviewed, and that's what many others believe. Not many people are believing what the Sun's saying. A lot of people are believing what I believe, and that's always a great thing, you know, because no one trusts that rag of a newspaper. However, it's been a fun day of all that. I'm sure I've chucked on the screen a few of the articles and a few of the tweets. So yeah, thanks for watching, and thanks to anyone who got involved on the Twitter, and sorry if you've put a bet on or that on them. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.